With the increasing problem in public transport and traffic in the Philippines, a private-public network of cycling experts from the Netherlands are in the country to promote the use of bicycles. To discuss this further, we have in the studio Dutch Ambassador to the Philippines, Saskia de Lang. Ambassador, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Did you ride your bike here?
I wish I could have done that, but I have 3 bikes at the residence, so...
Is that right? Here in the Philippines?
Here in the Philippines, so I do some of my shopping by biking.
So you're able to adapt that culture that you're so famous for to the Philippines. What else do you think is stopping other people from doing the same here as you?
Well, if you want to use your bike in daily life, there's some infrastructure that is required, and to make it safe for the people. Starting with infrastructure, but also the mindset, the attitude of the road users, that car users and bike users share the road and respect each other. In my country, the most vulnerable participant in the traffic has the priority. So cars yield to bikes. And
bikes yield to pedestrians.
Bikes yield to pedestrians, exactly. So this is not something that came off in one day. It is something that has grown over the years. And we started in a situation where roads were congested, where many accidents happened, where people moved from their bikes to their cars because of the vulnerability and because there was no space. And little by little, the government created bike lanes and special space for bikes. So that's why nowadays we are a biking country par excellence, and we like to be on our bike. It gives us a feeling of freedom, and it's for everybody. It's a great equalizer.
It's democratic, I tell you, yes.
The bike is a great equalizer indeed. So.
This is what I can't understand about countries like the Philippines, because it is the most democratic form of transport, yet in a developing country like this, you would think we would lend ourselves to cycling, because that's the most affordable. So what do you think we should address first? It's road safety? Would you agree?
It is indeed road safety. But I must say, over the past few days, I've met with different authorities here in the Philippines. First in Intramuros, the administrator in Intramuros, who has developed a plan for Intramuros, including biking and including creating a space where no cars will be allowed in the future. And I'm sure you know Intramuros, you know the company Bambike that is renting out.
I've tried that.
It's famous, it's lovely, and it's very popular with tourists as well as with students who live in Intramuros. So the plans were very advanced within Intramuros. Now, starting from there on and expanding little by little to other parts of the city, that may be the first stepping stone to develop biking in Manila. And the Dutch Cycling Embassy, this organization, public-private organization that was here in the past few days, met also with the private sector, private project developers like Ayala, and they are very interested in including biking into their future developments. Now, we also traveled to Iloilo, and there was a workshop on biking with the private sector, with the civil society, with the local authorities, with the governor authorities as well. And that resulted in a first plan for developing biking in Iloilo, presented to the mayor, who said, "You are really coming here very timely. We are working on a new land use planning, and we want to include this kind of things into our mobility plans." So I think we are here at a point in time where there is a lot of receptiveness for this new type of mobility. And it's not about biking per se. It's about mobility. And using different tools to improve mobility.
Do you think, and I don't mean to sound negative, but do you think that the Philippines or Manila can be retrofitted to be a biking capital like Amsterdam? Or are we restricted by the way the buildings are built, the way the roads are built? Do you think we can retrofit the city?
I think that well, by starting in one neighborhood, you can start to expand. And once the people get the gist of it, and they will ask for more. So why not? If some leaders want to take that upon them.
Perhaps I can rephrase it this way, because I think, you know, I've been trying to, I've been a cyclist myself, and an urban commuting cyclist, not just a recreational one. I've done the mountain biking, but I used to ride to work. So I see the value with it. Trying to promote it, I realize that the hurdles are always the weather, and of course road safety. Not in that order. Road safety, then the weather. But can we convince people, and this is the hardest part, that there is actually an economic advantage to creating a bike network in your country? It's not just a social aspect, or I'm trying to be green, I'm trying to get score points with the green community. Can you make a case that you can spur economic activity, and this could be an economic advantage for a city?
Well, to start with, it's economic advantage for the bike user. If you purchase a bike, you can compare that price with what you spend on commuting by car, by public transport. It's a price of 2 months of public transport. So, I mean, your bike is really very cheap, and once you have it, then you, in fact, you don't have any expenses anymore, because it's also low maintenance, and so on the level of the individual, it really it's an advantage, and for the administration, it's an advantage in terms of CO2 emissions. It's an advantage in terms of health. People who bike are more healthy.
And of course, when you're near the point of sale, you can buy stuff along the way. You don't have to park your car. So that's the economic growth that I think places like Amsterdam, New York, Japan, Tokyo, you know, it's easy to become a consumer when you don't have to park your car.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, you know what? We wish we had a lot longer time to do this, but at least what you're doing is starting off the whole conversation, and we really thank you for that and this initiative. Hopefully it can bring us out of a crisis. Sorry, we're not in a crisis. But let's just pretend we were in a crisis. This could bring us out. Thank you for joining us this morning, Ambassador Saskia de Lang of the Dutch Embassy in the Philippines.
Thank you for having me here.